because you're never going to have a fear-free existence. I mean, some fear is acceptable and legitimate. There are some things that you really should be afraid of. Now, you shouldn't allow it to immobilize you. You acknowledge it, you take it into account, and you carry yourself accordingly.
I believe if you want to succeed, you got to have 80% of success is figuring out why to succeed, why to manage your state, for example. 20% is how. Here's the how. Let's do it quickly, and let's just get right to doing it and doing some exercises.
So failure decided to show up and pay you a visit. But now you feel that it is over for you. You feel that there's no coming back from this failure.
There are times that we should proceed with caution, but it's the difference between being stopped by fear. It's the difference between having a fear and the fear having you. So what do? One, acknowledge it, and knowing that it's okay. Don't condemn yourself for being afraid. It's perfectly fine to have some fears. You acknowledge your fears, you embrace those fears, and then you move on. You act on whatever it is that you fear. Because once you embrace it, see, what you resist will persist. What you resist will persist. So one of the most important things is to begin to embrace your fear.
There are two primary ways to control your state of mind and body. They are, number one, controlling the way you use your physical body, what we call your physiology, and number two, controlling your mental focus. That is what you pay attention to, what you think about, what you picture, what you say to yourself. Today we're going to focus on how to use our physical bodies to create the emotions that we want at any moment in time. And then on your next tape, we're going to work on how to control our focus, how to control the mental imagery and pictures and things that we think about in a way that immediately changes our state as well. Let's start and focus again today on physical movement. Now I want you to think about something here. In order to feel anything in your life, you feel it through your nervous system, through your physical body. Now, if I told you I know someone who is totally depressed, I bet you could tell me about the way they move or even their posture.
So what we've got to begin to do, how do we handle that? What's the process? Because it's all up in here. One, I think, is imagine the worst case scenario. Then I had another technique I used. Visualize yourself being more than able and capable of handling it. And I used to have a tremendous inferiority complex about speaking before people that I felt who had more going for them than I did. Because I'm not college trained, I used to feel that college people were the most intelligent people on the planet. And there was nothing I had to say for them. And what will they listen to me for? That's the way I felt. And so I had to visualize myself speaking before them, speaking before various audiences that had more going for them than I did, and realize and appreciate my own value, and that I was a worthwhile person, even though I didn't have all going for me. I didn't have the money, I didn't have the education that they had. So part of the process is seeing yourself being worthy.
And you would probably have an accurate representation. In other words, if I told you about someone I know that's totally depressed, and let's say they're outside your door right now, and I said to you, for $100,000, describe for me, what is this person like? What's their posture like, for example? What would you say? Most people say slumped over. Where's this person's head?
Let me break it down. Break it down.
Em được ngã lưng lên một chút. Đơn trên sofa, con tim như tan ra, dừng lối em trôi theo một khúc ca buồn. Giữa căn phòng ánh đèn chợt tắt, che đi giọt buồn sắp rơi. Cô đơn trên sofa, sao anh như cô ta, chẳng phải anh yêu em hơn cả anh mà. Để cho thanh xuân đèn chợt tắt, che đi giọt nước mắt.
Most people say down. Where are their eyes? Again, most people say down. Where is this person's breathing? Is it full or shallow? Again, most people say shallow. And where is this person's facial expressions? Are their muscles in their face pulled up and tight, or are they down and slack? Again, most people say slack. How did you match up with these descriptions? Again, if you're like most people, most of those descriptions match the picture you have in your mind. Why is it that when we think of a depressed person, we think of somebody who's physically hunched over a little bit, looking down, talking a little bit more slowly, their eyes down, and they're breathing shallow, and their facial muscles slack? The answer is, in order to get depressed, you got to work at it.
You must understand that failure is required, and you must be willing to be humble enough to not just learn from it, but grow from it. Failure serves its purpose, and it will do exactly what is necessary to get you to understand that not only are you learning from it, but you're also a human being. There can be no victory without a struggle attached to it. You don't deserve a victory.
Everybody's stops and everybody's stops. We gotta keep on dancing. Moving on and out. Still the moment we're going up the end of clouds. To the beat of desert. To the things we don't think for the day they know. So the most selfish side of the mission is like, live on the coast of the light to shine light. Walk shine light. Like a nothing. Show us what we're strong side. It's alright. We're down to full and night. Heading in again. It's taking over all night. Look at it all. It's alright. It's alright. Let's keep it finished now. Let's go die.
Without a failure. Failure does exactly what is necessary to make you better.
You believe to the core of your being that you're just planning for the hard times, but the truth is you're going to become those things that you fear. You're going to become the things that you dread. If you're thinking about all the things that you've done wrong in the past, you are going to simply continue that cycle. But if, on the other hand, and let this be true, let this ring in your ears with the weight of everything that I carry, if I've ever added an ounce of value to you, if anything I have ever said has seemed remotely true, believe that these are the most important words I'm ever going to say to you. If you begin to focus on positive things, if you begin to focus on your capabilities, if you begin to focus on potential that you have, if you really dig in, build those skills, drive towards something beautiful, something amazing, something that leaves you in awe, that you want to create, that you want to become the vessel for that, then you will.
It's not easy. You have to use your body in a certain specific way. I mean, try something ridiculous with me for a moment, won't you? Sit up. Right now in your chair. In fact, if you're not driving, stand up. If you're driving, that would be difficult. But if you're sitting, stand up for a second. Hell, I'm in the room.
To put you on the path at the right moment. To be able to build something from the ground up. And just because you fail, it doesn't mean that it's over. With every step that you are taking moving forward, sometimes you will get pushed back. But when you get pushed back, you come back strong. You come back with a purpose. Champions cannot be champions without failures. Even when you feel that you're at the weakest point, you got to understand that these failures are going to do exactly what is necessary to help you to build up, to teach you the lessons in life, to understand that you gotta get knocked down a few times.
You will become that thing because you will take those steps because you become what you think about. And as Mark Twain said, 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do. So if you don't take those steps, if you don't focus on those things, if you don't manifest what you want to become. If you don't believe in it, if you don't see how real it could be, if you can't picture the version of yourself that you want to become, and even though people have told you that it's not possible for you, that the things you did in the past are never going to allow you to do that, that you're not smart enough, if you let that creep into your mind, then that's what's going to happen. But if you can see that vision, if you can allow yourself to believe it, then you're going to take the steps that you need to execute against that. And if you go out there and do those things, you won't regret it, but you will regret it if you don't. So get out right now and build the person you want to be so you can have the life you want to have.